So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first ever panel discussion, our coffee chat series for the Returning Mothers Conference 2021. I'm pretty sure that many of you know me already, but I'm Malavika. I'm a computer engineering student at NTU. I'm the vice president of the IEEE NTU student branch and a volunteer for the Returning Mothers Conference. Today, we have two illustrious panelists, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our first guest for the night, Ms. Sanjini Sengupta, the founder of Lighthouse, where she has curated a set of highly experiential storytelling techniques aimed at bringing the heart of people back to work and improving personal growth. At Lighthouse, she integrates interdisciplinary tools and works with leaders, founders, L&D professionals, and social change makers. So she's an alumnus of the Indian Statistical Institute. She's a qualified actuary, turned award-winning author, speaker, and novelist. A distinguished Toastmaster, the national president of mentoring and soft skills at Wiki, a mentor, coach, influencer on a number of platforms such as Toastmasters International, Sheroes, Jobs for Her are just some of the numerous feathers in her cap. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure, and thank you so much.
Thank you. And our second panelist for the evening is Dr. Ramlata Marimuthu, the General Founding Chair of the Returning Mothers Conference. Dr. Ramlata has been teaching for over 33 years and is currently working at the Kumaraguru College of Technology. With a view to encourage service learning and assistive technology among students, she founded the YesIst International Maker Fair, which now runs in more than 15 countries every year, aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. She serves on the board of IEEE Computer Society and IEEE Society on Social Implications of Technology and has introduced women committees in both forums to serve the female community under them. She has received a plethora of awards from IEEE, the Lions Club, the Government of Tamil Nadu, India, and the Anita Borg Institute for Women and Technology in California for affecting positive change in the community through technology. She has also served on the Clinton Global Initiative Tech Delegation, the Advisory Committee of Grace Hopper Celebration in India, and Discovery's Global Marathon. Welcome, Ramlata ma'am. Although we had some difficulties, it's really nice to still have you through WhatsApp. Can you hear us?
Thank you, Malavika. Thank you for putting me through.
No problem, ma'am. So today we will be discussing the mission of the Returning Mothers Conference and the art of storytelling and how the impact of the two can come together to create a wonderful effect to our community. So my first question would be to Sanjini ma'am. What is Lighthouse and why is storytelling so important today?
Thank you so much, Malvika. And really my pleasure, and what an august company today. And I'm so thrilled to be here with you and with Ramlatha ma'am. What is Lighthouse is a very interesting question in my life, because I feel everything I did till this point in time very interestingly culminates into Lighthouse. I have spent 12 years of corporate career as an actuary, as you mentioned, and 8-9 years with very active liberal arts practice through, of course, writing my book, columns, theater, filmmaking, screenplay, etc., speaking, and as well as my spiritual seeking, my understanding and trying to explore the inner depths of human potential. With Lighthouse, my mission is to bring hearts to work. Now, why is that so urgent? The thing is that I feel it is our innate need as human beings to be seen, to be heard, to be understood for who we are. And yet we create these very standard compartments and departments, and we say this is professional, this is personal, and we do not carry our hearts to work. Our workplace culture, be it in the entrepreneurial, be it in the corporate, there is a very strange boxed identity that we place ourselves into. Now, that is really eating into the way of our creativity, in the way of our potential, our inner dialogues, what we are capable of, what we are not capable of. As women specifically, and because we are on Returning Mothers Conference, which is a very evocative title in itself, women's voices need to be heard. I mean, we need to struggle to increase the numbers, and we are already doing a lot of that. But alongside the numbers and attendance, we need presence, we need perspective, we need the voice. How storytelling helps is really to reconcile our internal and our external. Our inner dialogues as women are very flawed. Starting from shame, guilt, whatever we have grown up with, whatever the expectations, the decorum and stereotypes are, all the way to also being expected to behave in a certain way in workplaces, in a certain way in family, in society, social gatherings. What I'm trying to do with Lighthouse is to teach the language of conscious communication so that we check and design the narratives inside our hearts, and we realize our power, and we give away victimhood in favor of the immense potential each one of us. And then we take that voice and recreate our power as entrepreneurs, as corporate executives, as teachers. We bring the heart to work. So that's what Lighthouse is, and that is how I'm trying to use storytelling.
Thank you so much. I think I truly resonate with the entire concept of bringing your story across and resonating to people in that way. And I think at this point we should ask Ramlata ma'am, what is RMC and how do you think that storytelling is important for our returnees who will be interested in our conference?
Yeah. The Returning Mothers Conference was conceived as a place to bring together men and women who have a passion to sustain their career. Anybody. Though the name mothers may bring in the vision of only women in this day and age of equality, with even maternity and paternity leave introduced as a policy, the conference can safely cater to anyone and everyone. Going on a break needs a lot of planning, but usually we do not realize it till we are at the end of the break. When the time comes for the imminent return, many of the people start thinking about the jobs and how they can balance their time after they return. But they fail to realize that there are some skills required to be upgraded, some skills which they have acquired during the break are to be brought into limelight for the prospective employers. There are so many things the returnees need to consider as self-evaluation, a clear understanding of the mapping of their available skills to the available jobs. There are so many things. They also have their other avenues like freelancing, entrepreneurship, volunteering, and even part-time careers, which are all good. The person seeking these avenues has to plan slowly and steadily, but might need a mentor for discussing some of their perspectives. The Returning Mother Conference provides an end-to-end training on the various avenues and the skills required for each. We also bring the other side of the coin to light. The working environment, women-friendly workplace policies, and most of all, the element of joy to be taken into account. A workplace with no conscious or unconscious bias is likely to attract and sustain returning mothers. So this conference is for both the employers as well as the employees and people who want to go out of employment and bring their own employment.
Right. Thank you so much, Ramlata ma'am. I think you really brought out the essence of our conference there. So, Sinjini ma'am, do you have any tips or tricks that can help our participants elevate their pitch or presentation during the conference?
Thank you. That's a brilliant question. And what can I say in this little time? So let me share one thing maybe at this point. Because we are talking mostly about women and womanhood, I feel that we women do not often stand up and tell our honest narratives, because there is also a parallel, media driven narrative that is out there, and we try to conform to that. I want to bring in the concept that I talk about a lot at my workshops, that we are all human werewolves. We all pose for photoshopped pictures. We all click last night's dinner if we have eaten out, and we put it on Insta and everywhere else. But if I would just be honest one day and just say that, you know what, I burnt my food last night, I'm sure there would be so many of you who would maybe softly, silently think in your mind, oh my God, me too, that's relatable. Now, what we have to do, and it's almost an urgent duty for us to tell and stand up and show up and be seen and heard for this humanized, normalized version. Because we are, human werewolves, but when each one of us, we feel that we are going through some kind of trouble. Not all the stories are ready to be told. It can be something very personal. We might be in a very raw emotional state. I'm not pushing you to tell very difficult stories, but there are some stories. Everyday parenting, I am sure, as much as we post nice pictures, at times we pull our hair apart. There are so many things, every day, small things that help us come together in sisterhood and develop empathy. And why is it so important to say, every time I go on stage and I may say something which is perhaps a little soft and more of a inner story, there would always be somebody, maybe in the second last row of your audience, who needs to hear that day to be able to hang on. And we owe our stories to those people because we have been that person 2 years back, 5 years back, 6 months back. We owe our stories to the world because we need to humanize the existence, the culture, and we need to bring the women narratives on board. We need to talk about a whole lot of stuff. Infertility treatments, PCOD. I have got my daughter's PTA at school, so I have to leave office a little sooner. I should be able to call my boss and say, I've got period cramp and I'm not coming, and not pretend that I'm running temperature. So these small elements will build up to becoming a new force, a new future. It's very important that, maybe practice this one time. I would say, after this thing, after this panel discussion, after this conversation, just go out and type out one thing on your social media of choice to appear authentic, to appear humanized, and to appear normal, and just to express your vulnerability and say, have any of you faced this? I have. How do you feel? Just invite people to be more human and bring their hearts to work. Thank you.
Wow, I think that is so beautifully worded. There's nothing else that we can say to add to that to make it any better. So definitely now, Ramlata ma'am, why do you think people should attend RMC? And what is so unique about our Ideathon, and what can interested participants look forward to other than sessions with Sanjini ma'am?
True. I fully agree with Sanjini when she says that we owe it to the world. I hail from a rural background, and to come to this international community kind of career, I had to pass on to different barrier. And the first barrier was, remember, 35 years back, I did my engineering. And at that time, from a rural area, nobody is supposed to even think about engineering, let alone a career. And so I think there are so many Ramlatas out there, if not to that extent, but to such an extent that they need a help. So this year, we have developed a holistic representative approach to the Returning Mothers Conference. The program will cater to the needs of both men and women, of course. And we have chosen all backgrounds, academia, industry, government, everything, who wish to retain their careers by upskilling and networking. The 2 days of the conference actually deliberates on providing entrepreneurship training, setting up new business end to end. I'm sure it will be an opportunity for the people to explore the creative side of their own thoughts and probably find an opportunity to start their own venture. If not today, later. Moreover, we have introduced another track called Novelty and Invention. This is a kind of new thing because nobody would have thought of patenting an IPR to be career line. So this conference introduces that as a career line for the people who wish to pursue their careers in research and also probably the opportunity of building a career as an IPR agent and an attorney. In short, the conference will aim at providing highly interactive platform to foster interaction, innovation, and collaboration for all kinds of people. Now, about the Ideathon. Ideathon is a way of selecting enthusiastic entrepreneurs, but we are not looking for a research-oriented innovation or some design thinker or something. We can have someone, if anyone has a marketable idea, and if he or she is confident of making it work, we just want to handhold them, help them achieve their objective. In addition to the business training and competitive pitching opportunity, we are also providing some scholarship, around 50 scholarships to the Ideathon participants to attend a 2-month-long program on personal branding and professional skill development offered by the Lighthouse. So I thank Sinjini for providing this opportunity for our participants. And I also would like to thank our sponsors and partners for making it possible, in fact. So it is a kind of people coming together to help others. So as Sinjini said, we owe to the world and we want to give back.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for telling us why you should join RMC today. And now I think we have some time for questions from our audience. So if anybody has any queries, anything you'd like to know about Lighthouse or the Returning Mothers Conference, you can type it out in the comment and I will read out your question and we can have either Ramlata ma'am or Sinjini ma'am to answer it for you. So maybe I'll give the next 10 seconds for the fastest fingers out there. Let's see who types the fastest. Maybe in the meantime, let's ask Sinjini ma'am, can you tell us something about some of the success stories of the Stardust program and the other programs you offer at Lighthouse?
Right. Thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to talk a little bit about what Ramlata just mentioned about, the scholarships and how the Ideathon participants can gain and benefit and learn out of this, because that definitely is also a success story and a very positive effort in the path of what we are trying to do, and we share a huge mission there. So in fact, in my second TEDx, I remember I closed my TEDx with this topic that our parents brought us up to be ready for the workplace, but it falls on us to grow up the workplace to be ready for the women. And what the Returning Mother Conference and Ramlata Di has been focusing on, and she has iterated as well, is that it is a two-way path. It is to develop ourselves, but it is also to develop the ecosystem, the bystanders, the overall culture, environment. The 2-month scholarship that IEEE and the Returning Mothers Conference has very kindly provided, and we will select 50 top participants, and they will be studying with Lighthouse for a full 2 months with a rigorous program which is called All the World's a Stage. All the World's a Stage is a program which is a combination hybrid of online programs, online courses, recorded live video lessons, assignments, as well as we will come together collectively as workshops, as as a story circle, in empathy, in a virtual fireside chat. And we would be talking about our experience with the programs, the question answers. We will be trying out some stories, we'll be getting live feedback, and we will also develop a emotionally safe space to navigate and see how we can empower our stories, which stories are ready to be told, which stories will then become our North Star and create the career we want to create. If we are entrepreneurs, why do we do what we do? Why should people trust us? If we are in the corporate, how we can present our point of view, how we can diffuse difficult arguments, how we can develop a very strong sense of individuated presence, not just a clone of each other from, stamped from our passing universities. So All the World's a Stage program is in 3 parts. The first is Step In, where we do a whole lot of creative exercise, a whole lot of experiential exercise, some NLP tools to imagine, explore, observe, really create and find that story compass inside us, and also to understand who is the protagonist, whose perspective, whose narrative, who is saying what is the problem, what is the solution, what is the climax, what if then, the entire thrust on the creative and the explorative side of our story hearts. Then we do step up. At that stage, we learn about structure, how to hook people, how to give a call to action, how to use voice, how to use body, how to use non-verbal, how to use silence, how to understand people, how to use I versus we versus you, so that people feel engaged. We don't give lecture, but we engage them in a conversational tone. And after step up is the final stage, step out. How do we use these tools and these explorative ideas to change and evolve our everyday way of communicating, diffusing, negotiating, talking, addressing from the stage, creating a YouTube channel, creating an Insta, whatever way you want to do it, but how to create an authentic presence and how to develop the muscle, so that you can become a better parent, you can become a better corporate executive, you can become a better marketeer, you can pitch better, you can get more investment funds. So this is like having a second muscle that will help you wherever you go. So I'm very excited with this entire idea of coming together. The 50 people coming together, and with, of course, Ramlata Di and so many other people also joining from the ecosystem of IEEE, which will bring in a very cross-cultural, evolved sense of womanhood, sisterhood. We'll learn, we'll exchange notes, and we will help each other. And 50 people coming together, putting all our brains and hearts together is exciting. So I'm very, very, very eagerly looking forward to this whole thing to kick off, and we are going to have fun.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Sinjini ma'am. I think you've also answered some parts of the questions asked by our audience. So we have a question from Sajna, who had asked, what type of mentoring are we offering? So I think Sinjini ma'am has given a really great insight into the programs at Lighthouse, and some of it is actually reserved for our participants too. So Ramlata ma'am, could you probably tell us a little bit more about mentoring during the Pitch Fest and Ideathon?
Okay. So the Ideathon is the one, the first step. So we are getting the abstract submissions for the idea, and we will be selecting some of the ideas which we feel are really good. And 30 teams are going to present the idea. And after that, we will have the business training and also the mentorship together during the conference and after the conference. That is, the pitch fest is going to happen on September 4th. So till then, we will have the mentor-mentee enough time for them to connect with and also probably work together. So these mentors are mostly from industries. Some of them are entrepreneurs, and some of them are business management background. So they know how to, what are all the usual hitches, and they also know how to overcome those hitches.
Right.
So the participants will be divided, like 2 teams per mentor will be given, and they will be completely working with this mentor. So there will be 4 mentees against 1 mentor.
Right.
And finally, during the pitch fest, the mentees only will be presenting, but the mentors can sit and watch. They cannot help, they can sit and watch.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Ramlata ma'am. I think you've answered several questions from our audience. We have another question from Kamakshi. How are ideas judged to make it to the top 50 for the scholarships? So
Okay.
I think, yes, actually the Kamakshi, just to clarify, the ideas for the Ideathon would be a separate event. And I think our scholarship is for anybody participating in the program, right, Ramlata ma'am?
Yes, actually, it will be based on the Ideathon as well as the open registrations. See, we are going to select 30 people from the Ideathon backgrounds. So these 30 teams will be automatically selected for the scholarships. Apart from that, the general registrations, we are going to give some task. Sinjini and I have discussed about this. So we will be giving some tasks during the conference, and based on how they are fulfilling the task, we will have some selection criteria also. Based on that, 20 participants will be selected.
Right. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have a question from Aishwarya. Apart from sharing an authentic story, how can returnees bring on a catchy elevator pitch? So I think maybe Sanjini ma'am can answer this.
Right. How to create a catchy pitch? Is that the question?
Yes. Other than just sharing your own story, what else can we do to make it catchy?
Oh, yes. We have to make it catchy. That's the first criterion of any spoken words today, because we humans have an attention span of less than a goldfish, less than 8 seconds actually. How to open the pitch is in itself a huge long list. You can open with a joke to dissolve the ego difference between you and the listener. You can start with a quotation. You can start with a stage act. You can start with a prop. You can start with a whole lot of things. Intrigue, shock, very shocking statistics. Did you know? Or a quiz. Tell me, and just take answers from the audience. There can be many, many, many ways. But here is, a little twist in my answer. I would say at the opening, don't do anything. I always say that at times we have so much to say and so little time. We just go out and we start blabbering. It is always a good idea to show people how calm, how assured, how content you are. So just come there, stand, smile, lock eyes, show that you're assured, show that you are confident, show that they can trust you, you can trust them. Open arms, open gestures, smile on your face, twinkle in your eyes, and then slowly, softly get into the groove. Of course, a pitch has many, many, many elements. Your business model has to be strong. It is not just a very authentic story will win the money for us. It has to have a very strong problem statement. Your solution has to be effective. You should have a very unique selling point. Your value proposition should be strong. You should identify the target group. You should know how to go to market. You should know what are your cost, revenue. So that is of course a big chapter. Your business model has to be strong. The investors should be able to trust in you. You should have a very, very strong either academic or passionate, belonging to the cause, so that people know that you are the right person, both in terms of your left brain and your right brain. So all of that apart, I would still say how to open and how to weave your story still remains one of the main reasons why some people win the investment gold pot and some people don't.
Right. Thank you so much. I think we have time for one last question from our audience. So Sajna has asked another question. Do we get a chance to meet investors? And also, have any teams gotten investments in the past? And if so, how many? So I think Ramlata ma'am, you can answer this.
Yeah. In fact, this is the first time we are organizing Ideathon and Pitch Fest. Till now, we have been conducting the conference, but no Ideathon and Pitch Fest were conducted. And this time, we are connecting with the industry sponsors and some of the international sponsors like BNY Mellon. They also do this kind of investing and other things. So we will be having booth during the conference where there are both the opportunities, like people who want to be entrepreneurs can meet the investors, and also people who want a recruitment or a job, they also can go and meet the companies where they can drop a resume and probably have a conversation, and after that continue. So it is a kind of catering to both the categories.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. And that has brought us to the end of our coffee chat for today. Unfortunately, Ramlata ma'am couldn't join us via video. Actually, let us try. Ramlata ma'am, maybe you can come on video on WhatsApp itself. And we can just get you in. Let us see. And in the meantime, let me just tell you all a little bit more about how to find our registration and everything else. So you can find all information about the RMC conference on our website, IEEE Returning Mothers Conference.in. You can actually also find it on our Instagram, which is IEEE.RMC2021. And on this website, you can find the registration to our conference. And on the same website, once you go to the Innovation and Entrepreneurship track, you can find the link to register for our Ideathon. Registrations for the Ideathon will close on the 17th of August, and registration for the conference will close on the 27th. So I strongly encourage everybody to come join us. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn more. And this is actually the first coffee chat of many in our series to come. So do keep an eye out. And hopefully Ramlata ma'am will join us via Instagram Live in the next one. She's right here. Hello, Ramlata ma'am.
Thank you so much.
If you are able to join us still. And thank you everybody for joining with us today. And thank you so much, Sinjini ma'am, for your time. Ramlata ma'am, for your time too. And hope to see you all at Returning Mothers Conference 2021. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Pleasure. Thank you so much, Malavika and Singhini.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Absolutely a pleasure. Bye-bye. Take care. And hope to see everybody who's watching this and hopefully will watch the recording. Do come for the Returning Mothers Conference. We don't just need the mothers. We need the ecosystem and the bystanders. So whoever you are an ally. So please come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your beautiful words at the end. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye.
And see you all at the
Bye.
Returning Mothers Conference.